by golly, Harry getting here reminds me about the story somebody told me that when you were going to school out there at the Peak, you know, up at the Peak schoolhouse there. Was that where did you go? Down where it was the last time or up on the hill?
That was the last one. That one up on the hill before my time.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, my aunt was teaching school, or she came, my aunt, afterwards, I guess. Harry and her didn't agree on everything, and I heard you were chasing her around the building with a 2x4. Is that right?
You'll have to come around. I got a school bus. Picture of the school bus going to school up there.
Oh, have you?
Nobody believes that, but I have.
Yeah.
You know what it was? What it is a mule. It's a mule. The school bus is a mule with 7 kids on the mule.
Yeah.
That's Harry's school bus.
It ain't a mule, though. It's a horse.
Oh, it's a horse? Yeah, it's a horse again.
Yeah.
I thought it was a mule, but it's
It's a horse. It weighed 1,800.
Yeah, 7 kids on it, and that's his school bus. Yeah.
I went into when I was in the hospital, the nurse got to ask me about going to school and how we got there, and I says, oh, we had a school bus. Did what color? I said, brown. So that's a glad. And next time they wanted to see a picture of it. They figured it was old Model T Ford, I think. So I showed them the picture of it, and they really got a kick. They took the picture and went all through the hospital.
Yeah.
Showing everybody the picture.
Well, you know, really and truly, back in those days, you know, back in the 20s and early 20s and in there, why, heck of a lot of the kids rode to school on horses. I remember Red Cook's kids came to school, and the Gilman kids sometimes.
I know this fella.
Yeah.
Bud Johnson, Harry Moody.
No.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I used to know him, but
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
we don't look the same as we did 20, 30 years
I
ago.
wonder what caused it.
Funny how we changed, isn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't know Wes when he come here. He knew me, but he knew I was coming, I think.
Oh, he knew you, Harry. You haven't changed in look. And I've known you since I was that high.
Well, I wouldn't have known Wes no.
I don't see Wes very often. He lives over on the other end of the state.
Did you ever see, have you ever seen that book that's got your dad's picture in it?
Have you got any more good story? Tell us a good story here.
A kind of good one, or
Well, whatever you want to
Sunday
tell.
school one, or
No, just a good old
a
country.
railroad one?
A railroad one, yeah.
Well, let's see. The only one I can think of is about Festus. All right, tell one about him.
Jim, just hold it a minute. Harry's telling a story now. Only one can talk at a time into this microphone.
I only know one kind, and that's the railroad kind.
A railroad story.
Well, this Festus, you know, on Gunsmoke, he was running around town nude. And Marshal Dillon got him and says, if you don't tell me why you're nude, I'll have to throw you in jail. So he says, well, it's this way. I took the old widow Jenkins for a ride, buggy ride. So she said, pull over in the brush, in the shade. Stop. So he says, I did. She took all her clothes off. She says to him, now you do the same. So I did. Now she says, go to town. So here I am.
Good story.
That's not dirty unless you
No.
take dirty mind.
No, that's right, Harry. You got this all figured out. Yeah, that's a good story. How about Wes? You tell a story. You was raised in that country over there, and you get up here and tell us a story.
Well, the story I remember best is the one when you came back from the service and built us a road.
Well, I got it did, didn't I? Yep.
And we were living on the off side of the river and had to go across the railroad trestle to get to town.
Yep.
My sisters, Shirley and Verna, had to board out to go to grade school.
Yeah.
And then Andy came back and built us 3 miles of road.
Yeah.
And you might tell us when that was.
It was in The latter part of January or February of 1947.
1947.
And there was over 3 miles of road. I built it in 5.5 days. But I got a story to tell you about that job. Verna May, my dad gave your dad an old mare, and Shirley and Verna May were riding the horse to school every morning. I was out there working when they came by, and Shirley, of course, since she was older, she's sitting in front, and I knew I set the cat down, and the first thing I said to him after I spoke to him, I says, I don't see why Shirley gets to ride in front all the time, because I knew damn well they'd been fighting about it constantly.
And they still are to this day.
I know that. See, so I thought that was so funny, and I've never forgotten that one. We went on, and I went on building road.
The story on Shirley and Verna May, they were. I come to Alderpoint after I got back from overseas, and I walked from Alderpoint over to the place there, down across the Cane Rock Bridge there, everything, and I carried a bag of candy for the kids. And by golly, when I got up to the house, Verna May and Shirley seen me, and they run and hid under the bed. And Addie had to go get them out from under the bed so I could give them the candy. They hid under the bed. Addie went in and got them out from under there.
Well, I don't doubt that.
We didn't get a lot of visitors out there.
Yeah, no, much not. Look at me and didn't like my look, that's what I think.
Well, let me tell you a story about that too. Is my father went down one time to the old Bean place, and Alma Bean was there, and so she asked him if he had ever seen her sons, Harold and Herb. He said no. He said, just a minute, I'll show them to him. She got a broom and run them out from under the bed. And that's when he first met them.
Yeah,
They were hid under the bed.
Cudneys, they'd hide. They'd hide. Those kids, they had a bunch of kids. They'd peek around. They'd see somebody coming, they'd go hide.
They did that in early days because not many people came,
Yeah, right.
They're just scared.
For water, he'd went and nailed 2 boards together for a half a mile, run water down to their house, cabin.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was the way of doing it, was the V trough.
Yeah, V trough.
V trough.
Well, we went over there to Long Ridge, we went over there to dig a grave for Tom Duncan. And we got where Tom wanted where they wanted it dug with, it was rocky as heck, and so we had to put little shocks of dynamite down in there to kind of soften it down. They wanted to be buried 6 feet down.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I never will forget those Indian kids there on Long Ridge were pretty small, some of them. And the first time we let off that blast, it wasn't a loud blast, but loud enough to scare the daylights out of them, and they took off. Before we got that grave dug, you couldn't find one of them little Indian kids anywhere. No matter where you looked, they left out.
They pulled out.
They left for higher country, I guess. I don't know. They didn't stay there. I never will forget that. Talk about kids being shot.